Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. When Finn learns he is Luna's father, his entire world falls apart. Finn questions whether Poppy was telling the truth to him in his office. He wonders, "Are you my daughter?" as he examines the blood sample bearing Luna's name. Poppy reveals at the prison that she is the mother of Luna Nozawa. She must be there because she is an inmate. She isn't, according to the administrator. Where is Luna? Poppy then demands to know her location. She complains that she visited Luna in the very room while pacing. Where is Luna? Respond to me. Luna sobs at Bill's house that she would still be battling for her life sentence if it weren't for him. Luna became a monster even though she never intended to harm anyone. That's my cousin's wife. What did she do to Tom, Hollis, and Steffi? Bill understands that she feels bad about what she did to Steffi. She begged her to let her go, Luna sobs. Her family and children were not on her mind. She now often ponders what their lives could have been like had Steffi not been discovered in time. The only member of her family who ever cared for her was Finn, who might have destroyed her life. Hope informs Steffi in Forrester's design office that Carter now rules the business, whether she likes it or not. No one or anything will challenge his authority. Hope continues by saying that everyone, regardless of last name, should be treated with dignity. Even me? Asks Steffi. Hope claims that although she and her family have been in control of them for a long time, things have changed. According to Carter. Hope is reminded by Steffi that Carter stole her family's company. Hope believed she wanted to assist. Steffi is there to uphold her family's tradition. She seems to be protesting about the leadership, according to Hope. Despite being a member of the leadership, Steffi refuses to remain silent about the coup. Steffi acknowledges it, and Hope teasingly remarks, "Oh, you're still angry." Hope queries why she returned at that time. Carter informs Daphne that she is an artist in the main office. He can smell her aroma as she flips her hair. She whispers that they gave a lesson in silence. He responds, telling her that there's more to her than just her seductive sense. Carter gushes about their collaboration while Daphne caresses his lapel. He wants to start as soon as possible. He is a man of action and taste, she says. He can't wait to start working. Poppy asks if Luna is in the infirmary or hurt at the prison. What on earth is happening? According to the man, she is still behind bars but is no longer housed there. Poppy begs him to let her know where she was transferred. Additionally, Diamond White provides an update. Finn holds up the vial of Luna's blood after swabbing his cheek at his office. "I need the truth," he tells himself. Steffi informs Hope in the design office that she has never concealed her views on the takeover and she will not do so in the future. "And yet you agreed to work here?" sniffs Hope. Steffi believes that Hope has a problem with that. She reminds her that after her grandfather entrusted her and her father with his business, she tore it from them. "So there's no reason for me to question your motives then?" asks Hope. She questions whether there is more to her presence than only preserving her legacy. Steffi informs Hope that she has become paranoid due to power. The truth is that she and Carter stole something that wasn't theirs. Hope believes that trusting her would be foolish. When they are by themselves, she wants the truth. "What's actually wrong with you?" Carter wants to show Daphne his ideas for the perfume line at the main office. "I want to know what's in that handsome head of his," she coos. He talks endlessly about the market and the data. As he shows her the projections, Daphne snuggles up to his chest and purrs, "No one can touch you. Tell me more." As she grabs his tablet, he looks directly into her eyes. Carter must break free from the spell she's casting in order to continue discussing business after inhaling her aroma. They're compatible and make a wonderful couple, she thinks. She inquires as to whether she is distracting Carter, who stutters, "Yeah." He's losing his train of thought, but he claims it's the aroma. "It's really strong," Daphne inquires, "like you can lose yourself in the woman wearing it?" Poppy tells the administrator at the prison that she wants a direct response. Where is Luna? He leaves without saying anything, since he is not allowed to. The narrative of Sheila and Deacon is about to get intense. Luna finds it impossible to understand taking 2 lives at Bill's place, but even if it is terrible, she didn't know them. She was betrayed by Steffi, who had always been so good to her. Bill believes she simply went into a panic. Luna sobs that she has changed as a result of all the years of frustration. She was unable to envision Steffi as a wife and mother at that time. She stood in her way of achieving her goals. She always knew Finn cared, so she said, "There were no family ties strong enough to stop me." He was the source of almost all of her pleasant childhood memories. He will never look at her the same way, she is certain. Finn waits anxiously for the paternity test results at his office, setting a timer. As he recalls his fight with Poppy and saving Steffi from Luna's grasp, he paces and wipes his chin. He gently returns to the desk once the timer goes off. Finn releases his breath, glances at the ceiling, and remembers attempting to get Poppy to be honest with him. Finn picks up the test strip and looks down at a positive result with red-rimmed eyes. It's positive. He sobs while slumped in his chair. I was misled by Poppy. It's me. The father is me. Luna is my daughter. Carter finds Daphne irresistible, Poppy is stonewalled at prison, and Finn confirms that Luna is his daughter, shattering his world. When Poppy learned that Luna was no longer incarcerated, Daphne told Carter, who was swooning, that he had her. Finn thinks about the paternity test on his desk while pacing his office and locking the door. He questions whether Poppy is telling the truth. He asks if Luna may be his daughter while gazing at a vial of her blood. He huffs and runs the test, assuring himself that he must know the truth. He fidgets and sets the timer. He picks it up cautiously and trembles as the timer goes off. There are 2 lines. He sobs as he collapses in his chair and declares, "It's positive. It's me. The father is me." He claims that Luna is his daughter. Poppy is confused to learn that Luna is not present in the prison. She insists on knowing her daughter's location. She can only be informed by the warden that she remains a prisoner. Poppy keeps asking where Luna is, but he refuses to give her the answer and leaves, leaving her in a state of shock. Luna sobs as she expresses her gratitude to Bill for everything he has done for her. She would still be behind bars if it weren't for him. None of this was ever what she wanted. She had no desire to harm others and act like a monster. When she names Steffi among her victims, Bill is taken aback. She normally doesn't care. According to Luna, Finn is the only member of her family who has ever shown her any concern, and she was so depressed that she could have destroyed his life. Although she little knew Tom and Hollis, taking their lives was terrible. It was made worse by the fact that she knew Steffi. She was only able to see Steffi as an obstruction rather than a person. She ruined the only pleasant memory she had of Finn as a child. He won't be able to look at her the same way if he ever sees her again. Hope and Steffi argue about alleged slights in the Forrester design office. Hope clarifies that Carter is now in charge and that nothing will challenge his power. Hope continues by describing how they treat everyone with dignity, irrespective of their last name. Because of Carter, things have changed. Hope claims he's only improving, while Steffi claims he stole the company. Steffi maintains that she is merely there to safeguard her investments and the family legacy while they argue. Hope questions why she's actually back after she confesses that she's still furious. She believes Steffi is troubled. Steffi doesn't hesitate to remind her that they stole the business her ancestors founded and to tell it like it is. Hope informs her that she has no moral superiority in this situation and that she should be cautious around her since she believes Hope is paranoid. She insists on finding out the truth. Looking directly into Carter's eyes in the office, Daphne informs him that every sense she develops is a silent language. He tells her there's more to her than her seductive sense when she flips her hair off her shoulder. Alluring? Moi, she inquires. A lot, he affirms. Carter almost collapses as he talks about how their collaboration will create a lot of buzz. She senses it already. He can't wait to start working. She would be curious to know what goes through his attractive mind. He continues by talking about how no one can touch her and the numbers her brand can produce. As he discusses the retail season, Daphne approaches. His mouth lingers open as she removes his tablet from his grasp. He rambles on about how well they make a couple, despite being sidetracked and sniffing her constantly. He acknowledges that the smell is getting to him. As if the woman wearing it could make you lose yourself, she inquires. Poppy is stunned by the news after Luna discovers her father by accident. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna Nozawa is certain that Tom Starr is not her father. He's not right, she is. However, who is? That title belongs to John Finn Finnegan, according to all soap opera indications. Given that his presumed daughter was just exposed as a double murderer with the full intent to set up his wife for death, some might describe this as a debatable distinction. Poppy Nozawa informs Finn that he is not the father in the meantime. Long before these characters appeared in this version of Los Angeles, California, she said while pregnant. Why take this family route aside from shock? So, Finn had a relationship with the sister of his adoptive mother? Yes, the aforementioned query is meant to raise doubts about the situation that he and Poppy voluntarily chose. There was no bloodline crossing, which is why Lee Finnegan is emphasized as his adoptive mother. It's probable that viewers are also curious as to why Novlan's character is being written in this manner. They are aware, nevertheless, that his father cheated on his mother, Sheila Carter Sharp, Kimberlyn Brown. Those two identities are linked to Finn's genetic makeup. This plot aims to sharpen his edges and erode his flawless appearance. The setup for Steffy Forrester Finnegan is clear. Sheila was the reason why Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, nearly left Finn several times, but Finn had little control over his maternity leave. It will be very different with the Luna reveal. She will symbolize a secret that Finn never told Steffy, which would make her doubt their love once more. According to Wood's portrayal, she and Finn were centered. However, the trust they had mended after he promised to be loyal to her rather than Sheila is going to break down. After she's had a chance to calm down, Steffy will need to acknowledge the situation Finn was in. Since telling her about his young adult romance with Poppy would have made Steffy uncomfortable whenever she or Lee were nearby, how could he do it? Furthermore, it would have been shameful for Finn to purge his soul. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Poppy Nozawa turns down test. If Finn is convinced that Luna is his daughter based on the results of his paternity test, then major drama is likely to happen. Something this significant cannot be kept from Steffy. Telling Steffy the news right away is his best chance of coping with this shock. Because she will see his fragility, she will stand with him. Steffy will be thrown off, indeed. She does, however, adore her husband, who is also their son's father. However, Steffy is about to become an unwanted stepmother to the woman who wished her dead, instead of growing their family with a child of their own. There will be fiery drama soon. This website is a premier resource for anyone. With his fists on his hips and his jaw tightened, Finn stood in the center of the living room, trying to stabilize himself while Steffy's words replayed in his mind. Although she had always had a strong will, this time she was much more adamant, and her tone had no space for compromise. She had crossed her arms and fixed him with her piercing glare, saying, "It's her or us, Finn. You must decide what to do." He stared at her, his pulse thumping in his chest, looking for any hint of weakness, any indication that she may give in, but there was none. Steffy took everything seriously. He was frightened by that. This was no ordinary dispute. Everything he had created with her was in danger of being torn apart by this ultimatum. His union. His household. His whole world. All due to Luna. His daughter, Luna. His life had been rocked by the discovery that Luna was his biological kid, but nothing could have prepared him for the consequences. Steffy had always taken great satisfaction in being sympathetic, sticking by him, and encouraging him no matter what. She was making a line in the sand now, though. And he was standing at its very edge. When Finn eventually responded, "You can't really expect me to walk away from my own daughter," his voice was tense with passion. "I just learned the truth, and she just learned the truth. Steffi, I can't leave her now. I won't." Steffi shook her head and let out a deep exhale. "Finn, I'm not asking you to leave her. I beg you to put our family first. Me. Hayes. Kelly." Her voice faltered a little, but she quickly straightened and raised her head. "I refuse to allow this to ruin what we have." Finn combed his hair in frustration. "Destroy our possessions? I adore you, Steffi. I adore our life together. Luna, however, is a part of me. She is my daughter. I'm needed by her." Something unreadable flashed in Steffi's eyes. "And Finn, how about me? What am I in need of? Do I just have to accept that all of a sudden, Poppy's daughter is the center of your universe?" Finn felt sick to his stomach. He softened his tone and corrected, "She's our daughter. This is difficult, I know. I am aware that this alters the situation. But collectively, we can solve it. Don't force me to pick between you and my own child, please." However, Steffi's jaw tightened and her face stayed icy. "Do you not understand? It goes beyond the fact that you are Luna's father. It concerns the implications of this for us. For me. Finn, I can see how you gaze at her. I'm afraid, because I can see how you want to be there for her and protect her. Because what will happen to us if you continue in this direction and allow yourself to become more involved in Luna's life?" Finn moved in closer, grabbing her hands, but she retreated. The physical and emotional separation between them made his heart hurt. "I would never allow anything to separate me from you, Steffi. But it already is," she said in a pained whisper. "I can sense it every time you rush off to aid Luna and put her before us. Even though you are unaware of it, I am." Finn's chest constricted. None of this had been his intention, and he never thought that learning the truth about Luna would endanger his marriage. However, Steffi had legitimate concerns, and he may lose everything if he couldn't find a way to comfort her. "Please, Steffi," he pleaded. "I cherish you. I cherish us. But I can't deny that Luna is my daughter. You must have faith in me. To have faith in our ability to succeed." However, Steffi's voice was as frigid as ice, and her features stiffened again. "Then, Finn, prove it. Because I don't believe you at the moment." She then turned away, leaving Finn standing there with his whole world on the line. Even her closest friends and family could hardly begin to uncover Luna's deep secrets, which had always made her a mystery. Now, though, she was locked in a hazardous game rather than merely playing it. Never before had the stakes been so high. For weeks, Electra had a hunch that something was amiss and that Luna was entangled in something that was well out of her control. She was unaware of how lethal things had gotten, though. Tension permeated the night, causing the air to feel oppressive and heavy. Despite her instincts telling her to turn around and leave before she got too involved, Electra had followed Luna to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. However, she couldn't go when Luna's life was potentially in jeopardy. She remained concealed in the shadows, observing Luna's encounter with a man whose face was masked by the low light. Electra could still hear the hint of desperation in Luna's voice, despite the hushed chat. "You're not getting it," Luna growled. "He'll come get me if I don't do this. And not just me, but everyone I love." The man shook his head and chuckled softly. "Luna, you made your decision. Now, there is no turning back." Electra felt a knot in her stomach. She was done listening. It was horrible, worse than Luna had thought, whatever she had gotten herself into. With trembling hands, she grabbed her phone and attempted to text Finn, but the floorboard cracked beneath her before she could send the message. Luna's eyes widened in panic as her head snapped toward the sound. The man's face darkened as he turned as well. He whispered, "Looks like we have company." Electra's heartbeat accelerated. She needed to flee. Right now. However, Luna took action before she could move. "Go, As the man lunged for a firearm, she shoved his arm and yelled at Electra. Electra made a snap decision. With the sound of footsteps thumping behind her, she ran through the warehouse, her breath coming in frantic gasps. She could hear Luna straining, the chaos as the man swore and struggled to get things under control. Electra knew she wouldn't survive if she stopped, but she couldn't. Her only objective was to obtain help and tell Finn before it was too late, so she rushed into the darkness after breaking through the warehouse doors. However, as soon as she got to the street, a car screamed to a stop in front of her, blinding her with its headlights. Before she could respond, powerful arms seized her and pulled her inside as a door flew open. Luna's frightened scream was the last sound she heard before the door slammed shut. Finn stood motionless, his entire universe swaying on its axis, his mind racing. The reality seemed to grow more unsettling the more he attempted to unravel the complex web of lies behind Luna's creation. He had been putting the pieces of the puzzle together for weeks, removing the layers of lies Poppy had painstakingly constructed around the truth. But with each response he discovered, new ones surfaced, questions that troubled him and wouldn't go away. More than anything else, the most recent realization had struck him: had he somehow been there the night Luna was conceived? The concept was incomprehensible, but the lapses in his memory, the odd sensations of familiarity, and the glimpses of something just out of his grasp all suggested something much more intricate than he could have ever dreamed. He struggled to remember the past clearly, and his breath came in uneven, short gasps. One night in particular, so many years ago, had felt different from the others. It had been one of those nights when time appeared to stand still and the actual world dissolved into a surreal one. He was at a gathering with people he hardly recognized anymore, but he remembered one face in particular, Poppy's. Her laughter reverberated through the atmosphere like a tune, and she had been there, all beauty and mystery. He recalled how she had gazed at him that evening, how her touch had lasted for an excessive amount of time, and how his whole body had felt looser and lighter, almost as if he had been floating. Was he intoxicated? He had to have. However, it was more than simply booze. He was unable to pinpoint the exact cause. He vaguely recalled waking up the following morning feeling as though something had happened that he was unable to fully recollect. At the time, he had dismissed it without question or further investigation. However, he was unable to deny the building suspicion in his stomach as he stood here in the present, knowing that Luna was his daughter and that Poppy had been keeping the truth from him for years. Had Poppy planned something for that evening? Had she ensured that he would forget? If so, what is the reason? A wave of frustration swept through him, and his hands balled into fists. Poppy had been feeding him half-truths and evasions, but he needed answers, real ones. She had always skirted the truth, giving him just enough to appease him without ever really disclosing anything, even though he had previously approached her and demanded explanations. Not now. He scarcely noticed the drive to Poppy's residence as he stormed out of the house. His need to know had taken over his head, clouding it too much. His heart was thumping in his chest by the time he arrived at her door. Instead of knocking, he slammed the door open and entered with such haste that Poppy turned around in shock. Her eyes widened and she gasped, "Finn. Why are you in this place? You must be honest with me," he continued in a low, almost menacing manner. "No more games or falsehoods. I must know the truth about what transpired that evening. The evening of Luna's conception." Poppy's face went white. She retreated a step, as though she had been physically hit by the force of his remarks. "Finn, Did you give me a drug?" he interrupted her, his jaw clenched. "Did you ensure that I wouldn't recall?" She opened her mouth in surprise, but remained silent. More than anything else, that silence was sufficient response. Finn's pulse pounded as he drew a hesitant breath. Not only was the riddle growing deeper, it was also coming apart, and the truth that lay beyond it was more horrifying than he could have ever dreamed.